Hey, it's Matt. Are you sitting on the fence as to whether or not it's the right time to start a business? Now, I'm sure you've heard the old cliche that, there's never a perfect time. If you just wait and wait, you're never going to arrive at the perfect time. You're never going to do anything. But I really like this analogy of, are you sitting on the fence? Because a lot of us are sitting on the fence in various aspects of our life, but today I want to talk about it in a business sense as to whether or not you're ready to get started. So I'll help illustrate this with a story I love. This was told by Les Brown. It's a story of a young man walking down the road, and he goes past this house. And out the front of the house, on the porch, there's an old man, and the old man sitting next to it. Well, next to the old man is a dog, and the dog is sitting there moaning and groaning. And so the young man walks up to the older man and says, "Oh, so what's wrong with your dog?" And the old man says, "Oh, he's laying on a nail." And the young man looks a bit puzzled and says, "What do you mean he's laying on a nail? Why doesn't he just get up?" And the old man says to him, "It's not hurting bad enough." How many people do you know in life that are living a life that's not hurting bad enough? All they want to do is moan and groan. They tell you exactly what's wrong with their life every time you see them, but they never want to do anything to take some purposeful action to actually change things. So in this context of this sitting on the fence, what we don't want to be doing is sitting on the fence, and we certainly don't want to be sitting on a fence if there's nails on it. So how do you make the leap? How do you jump off the fence? Because it's hard, right? I mean, if it was easy to take these actions, then everybody would do it. I believe the reason that we don't take action in these cases, whether it's starting a business or any other aspect of our life, it's really because we look at, well, there's a lot of pain associated if I do this and it doesn't work out. Well, I could be embarrassed. It could not work. People will laugh at me. I might lose money. I might pour all this money into this, and I lose that. I'd have to give up my job, and then I can't necessarily go back to that. And on and on and on, and we quickly stack up all the reasons why it would be very painful if we actually got off the fence, and so that pain becomes greater than the nails that we're sitting on. But I've got an activity today for you that might help you take more decisive action in this regard, or just get some clarity about whether or not you are ready to get off the fence. So the activity is to look at two different paths. So the first one, what I want you to do is picture, say, 5 years out in advance. Just picture your life in 5 years, the way that you really want it to be. So if you could have your life, you were living where you wanted to live, you were earning what you wanted to earn, you had the lifestyle you wanted, who would you be friends with, all these sort of things. Really get a clear picture. And if you really want to do this after the video as well, and actually write this down, as to exactly what would your life look like in 5 years' time. Then take a look at a second path and say, well, what are you doing every day? What are your daily habits? And where are they taking you? Because usually they're two very different paths for all of us. Because what we want and what we're doing are very rarely exactly lined up. So if we have a look at that and we say, well, if I keep doing this, I'm going to be down here in 5 years. And suddenly what we have is this gap that we can really clearly see. And the gap becomes what we're missing out on. So instead of just having this amount of pain as to, the embarrassment, the loss of money, the, various things that might happen, we also can see, well, here's something that will definitely happen, that I won't have this life that I really want to create. And so if I don't get that, then that suddenly it becomes a bigger pain, and a more certain pain, if you like. So I think it was Will Smith that that said this, that he loves the idea of fear. You can be driven by fear, but not fear of what you don't want, fear of missing out on what you do want. So if you get a really clear picture on that, and suddenly you've got that associated, so you have a lesser pain associated with the, what might be maybe consequences, and suddenly this greater pain of saying, I'm going to end up down here and I don't want that. I really want this life that I want to picture here. Then suddenly it's not so comfortable sitting on the fence. So that's my idea for you today. Have a look at those two paths, have a look at the gap, have a look at what it's costing you. And if you get clear on that, and you decide that starting an online business is the way forward for you and it is an action you want to take, then hey, maybe it's time to jump off the fence.